Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Firstly, I want to introduce myself. Well, my name is Ummy Qalzum SR, Class 1B TKJ from POLITEKNIK NEGERI UJUNG PANDANG. On this occasion, I will discuss the database regarding the entity relationship diagram. Before entering the entity relationship diagram, it will be nice to know first what a database is. A database is a set of data that is stored systematically so that it can be managed easily. Well, then we get into the entity relationship diagram. What the heck is an entity relationship diagram? Entity relationship diagram is a model for compiling a database in order to describe data that has a relationship with the database to be designed. I give an example of an entity relationship diagram that I have created. Here, I choose UJUNG database. That is one of the applications used to listen to music. In this design, I use 4 entities, namely the entity of the artist, album, song, and also the user. Here, I also use 3 relationships to connect the entity that is create, on, and subscribe. Well, I'm going to get into the first relationship, which is the relationship of creating that connects the artist entity and the album, where one artist can create multiple albums. The and sign here shows the words many. Now, each entity will have several attributes. On the artist entity, there is a K attribute, namely ID artist, which will be the primary key and auto increment in the database. And other attribute is a single attribute. Then for album, the K attribute itself is ID album, and the rest is a single attribute. However, here there is also a derivative attribute that is an attribute format due to other attribute as seen in this design, namely the period becomes it's a derivative attribute former from the attribute of start time and end time. Then we move on the second relation, which is to have a link between the album entity and the song entity, wherein every one album can have many songs in it. In this case, songs has a K attribute that is ID song, and the rest is a single attribute. And the last relation, there is a subscribe, namely connecting user entities and artists, where one user can subscribe to many artists as well as one artist who can be subscribed by many users. So the relationship former is many to many. Therefore, the subscribe relationship becomes a special relationship, which is a relation that has an attribute where the K attribute is ID subscribe, while the single attribute is the ID of the 2 entities connect. Alright, that's all for my explanation of the entity relationship diagram. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.